All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to yet another edition of the Rock and Roll Geezers Show. I'm your host, Murph, and as always, thanks a lot for checking us out. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, like a few videos, make a few comments, and just dig the situation as it is. And of course, helping me out here, my co-host, Doc Vox. His favorite movie is Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. I never knew that about you, Doc. What in the world is up with
Murph, I
that?
told you that in confidence, and now you're bringing it to our audience, but that's all right.
Oh, so how's it going, man?
Doing quite well, man. Welcome to all of our viewers, all of our subscribers, and if you haven't yet, please do so. It would mean the world to us.
Absolutely.
If you haven't watched this before, this is what we do: bring you the rock and roll news each week. So, kind of throwing our point of views to it, and whatever else comes through our little sweet little rock and roll minds. So,
Absolutely.
let's get into it. There's a lot to get into this week, as always.
Yeah. And of course, our one of our main topics is always Motley Crue because they're always in the news. And this week is no different. They managed to somehow get a gig at the NFL draft. Believe it or not, the NFL draft has a big whoop to do, and they played a 6-song set outside of Union Station. And I don't get it with the draft. What? It's like
it's like in recent years they started making a really big deal about it, and then a spectacle of it, and having bands and that sort of thing. I just don't get it. It was on 3 or 4 different channels. It was just standing out there, thousands of people for 4 hours to hear your team call out one name.
Yeah,
and just
one guy who may end up being a bomb.
Yeah, you may know him, you may never heard of him. I don't know. But whatever.
It's a big deal. It's a big 3-day event, man. And they came out. They did a 6-song set, pretty hot. There's a Wild Side, followed by Primal Scream, followed by Live Wire, which I saw that. I saw a video of that. Home Sweet Home, Girls, 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 and then they closed out with Kickstart My Heart. But
yeah, I gotta say, it didn't seem like they were lip syncing, man. It seemed like they were really playing to me. I mean, I watched 3 or 4 of the songs, and I've watched pretty intently, and it seemed like they were actually playing. So I'm sure they're under a lot of scrutiny for that, here in the past couple of weeks.
But, well, it's almost become a game now, where folks in the audience are basically taking videos trying to catch them lip syncing. And the most recent one I saw was Nikki Sixx himself on the bass. He was singing and playing bass, and sure enough, when your mind's trying to do 2 things at once, you screw up. And I'll be darned, there was a bass part, but he was in a rock position, with his arm up. No, you got to keep it down there because his arm was up, and you hear the bass part. It's like, oh, wait a minute. So they're still doing that, but it's a shame. But at the same time, bands have done that for quite a while. And the one I think of in particular, which I saw live back in the day, was The Who. And, of course, the 2 songs that when I saw them, they had Keith Moon with them. That was back, I think, 76. And there are 2 songs that Keith Moon would grab the headphones because he had to play to a click track. And the 2 songs were, what were they, Doc?
I would say Baba O'Reilly and Won't Be Fooled Again.
Absolutely. Those 2 songs off of one of the best albums ever. But nonetheless, when you saw Keith Moon at a live concert, when you seen him with headphones on, that's what he was doing. He was playing to a click track, and everybody just played to his drum part to keep time. And man, it worked out great. And the funny thing is about Baba O'Reilly, and back then I always thought, oh, it's some kind of synthesizer or sequencer or something. But for that beginning keyboard part that everybody knows, let's face it, everybody knows it. And no, it wasn't done on a high-price sequencer or high-price synthesizer. It was done on an old Lowry TB-01 organ, just a regular old organ that just happened to have a repeat switch on it. You hit repeat, and every note you hit repeats, and that's how Townsend got that sound. And as a matter of fact, if you go to the RnRGzrs page, the Facebook page, I put a video on there of some guy with his Lowry TB01 organ recreating the beginning part exactly. It's exact. It's perfect. So that's how Townsend did it. Was this
how cool would that be?
Tired
have buddies over and break that out and break out some Bob O'Reilly on there. How cool would that be, man?
Well, yeah, and I highly suggest after you check this out, go to the Facebook page and check that out because it's amazing because it sounds exact. So yeah, it's old Lowry piece of garbage organ gave us one of the great sounds, but.
Now, is that actually what Townsend used, or is that just what this guy recreated it?
Oh, no, that's what Townsend used.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw a video of him actually doing it, and I haven't been able to find it since, but there was a video on there of Townsend actually showing how he made it, and it was with this repeat. It's perfect. It's exact. It's, because back then they didn't have that really high quality stuff he would have just used the organ itself. It's very cool. But it's funny because I'm thinking, people are making a sport out of trying to see if Motley Crue is lip syncing or not. They're finding little bits here where you can see it is. And I'm thinking, well, maybe that if they want to, they should just go into the studio and record the bits that they're going to do on stage and make a few mistakes in the studio so that when you're playing it live, you make a few mistakes. People say, "Oh, well, heck. Of course they're not lip syncing because they're making mistakes."
Oh, well, that's what we thought Vince was doing. Where he kind of.
So boy, this could get really twisted. Oh man, but yeah, there's like a sport out there now people trying to find them lip syncing, proof, and oh boy.
Yeah, no, they did the NFL thing, and so they they were one of three bands. Day one was Fall Out Boy, and then Motley Crue was day two, and then day three was Thundercat, which. I thought that was a cartoon back.
Yes, I remember it well. I never watched it, but I can envision the characters.
Thundercats Unite or whatever.
Oh yeah, something bizarre like that. Oh gosh, it's funny because back in the day, all them cartoonists were probably on acid and shit when they wrote that stuff. So
all the Sid and Marty Krofft stuff for sure.
Man. They
Jar Puffin stuff. Absolutely,
they had to be
for sure.
They had a oh wow. Oh
yeah,
man.
Watch some of that stuff now, man. It's
oh geez. Speaking of
anyway, before we go off on a tangent. Oh, you know what else before we go off I wanted to bring up. This weekend we brought up that it was coming up was Willie Nelson's 90th birthday bash.
Willie.
Yeah, they had the big to do for Willie. And the surprise at his birthday bash was Keith Richards.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Wow.
And, so they did a couple songs together. I'm not familiar with a song called "Live Forever" and another one called "We Had It All," which are at least title-wise seem apropos for the two of those guys.
Oh, they can't die. They can't be killed by conventional means.
Neither one of them, yeah.
And Willie,
about what kind of world we're going to leave for those guys. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, Willie, 90 years old, and he just all he does is smoke weed. So I just what do you say? Gee, good job, Willie. But yeah, Keith Richards, my gosh, Keith looks as old as him. Keith may only be 78, but he might as well be 90 and carry that proudly with him because, geez, boy, you talk about a grizzled old fart. Man, he got more wrinkles than, oh, gosh.
These guys lived 3 lifetimes, man.
I swear to God. It's so crazy. But, yeah, so good for them, man. Good for Willie. Gee, many creepers. That guitar of his, he's played, his main guitar, it's got a hole in it from playing so much. That's going to be in some museum somewhere. It has to be. It's going to be one of the most expensive guitars ever once that comes up, when it comes up. So boy, oh boy. Okay, anyway, moving on. Hey, Metallica, man. Metallica, they are on tour finally. Yeah. The M72 tour. We were talking about this, how they're doing basically a 2-night tour where you should, I think you buy tickets for both nights and they do a different set each night. And apparently they're doing it in the round, huh, Doc? Is that what I heard you mention?
Yeah, they're doing it in the round, and it's like you said. I think you can get tickets for a single night, but
I'm sure
they're
you
not
can.
repeating
Yeah,
any songs, so it's kind of a 2 night deal. They had the same thing at Pearl Jam 20 when I had that up at Alpine, and I didn't know. I just bought a ticket for one night, and it was, hey, if you need to play these songs, well, it's a 2 part concert, but if you go both nights, I'm sure it's great. But yeah, they started off in Amsterdam. They had a 16-song set. Kind of good mix of old classics and stuff from
sure.
the new album. They started off with the Orion, which is kind of a tip of the hat to Cliff Burton. Yeah, kind of he's got the cool
Okay,
photo on
sure.
there and stuff. So did that, and like I said, kind of a mix of the new stuff and then the old stuff. So yeah, they had Wolfgang out there started off for him, and
Oh, I bet that was good, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wolfgang, Pantera, and Metallica. Yeah, that's a good evening. Yeah,
That's a heck of a great 3 bill there, man. Chimney
yeah,
creepers.
yeah.
Wow. So yeah, they're out on tour. They're kicking it, and here's a surprising article about them. They put out their latest record, and it didn't come out number one. It didn't hit number one. This is stunning.
Yeah, it's
They
their
lost
first. They lost the streak that they've had since the Black Album back
32
in
years.
91. Yeah,
32 years, and they're no longer. And they lost to Morgan Wallen. Now I imagine that's a country guy, huh?
yeah, big time country guy. I think
Ah.
I just saw something here a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, where he had all top 10 songs. He had the top 10, which is remarkable. But,
Well, I got a truck, I got a dog, got my girlfriend.
I don't know what kind of
writing
songs he
songs.
sings, but it's a new.
Well, they're probably writing songs about heartbreak and
It's a new country.
pickup trucks.
It's not like back in those.
Well, see, that's the problem. The new country. God, it's don't call it's horrifying putting a country in with it because it's basically
it's
pop with a country
pop.
twang,
Yeah,
with a country voice.
Absolutely.
They might as well take rock songs and just put a country twang to the vocals. And I gotta divide, honey. Shit like that. It's so beyond country. It's so non-country.
Why'd you have to put that in my head, man?
Stop
it, man.
I'll stop it, man.
Yeah, they got this guy Morgan Wallen. So Metallica had sold 146,000 units in their opening week, and 16 million streams.
So by units, is that CDs?
Albums, CDs,
CD,
vinyl,
everything.
cassettes,
Yeah.
So 146,000 in sales and 16 million streams. And the same week, Wallen did 166,000. And I didn't get just the streams for the week, but total over 2 billion with a B. 2 billion.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
even they had the streak going. Even the Saint Anger even debuted at number one.
Oh my God!
Every album up to this point, which if it had not been for this guy, this one would have been too. But
what
Saint
Anger
is back in the early '90s when the Black Album came out, and back when I used to pay attention to the album charts.
Right.
And you had Metallica's Black Album, you had Nirvana Nevermind, you had Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusion album. And then this guy I never heard of, Garth Brooks. And it's like, what the hell is this guy? I'd never heard of him. I mean, obviously, fully aware of him now, but back in '91, I had no idea. There's this guy, beating my heroes on the chart, my favorite bands at the time, anyway.
Oh man, that's a bummer. Well,
that's what kind of reminds me now. I got this country guy kind of keeping them off the charts again, but.
Oh, Metallica, jeez, what do you do? Yeah. Man, oh man, freaking A.
Speaking of big tours,
yeah, big tours. Finally, we got well, they've sort of been rumbles about this. They've been rumbling here and there, and Joe Perry's been talking about it. And yeah, it finally came out that Aerosmith, they announced they're doing their final tour, which good for them. They've been going in for what? They got to be 50 years
Well, this
plus.
is their 50th. Yeah, this is the 50th anniversary.
50th? Yeah. So they're doing it's not a goodbye tour, it's a peace out. It's a goodbye tour, all right? You can call it what I want. You know, duck by any other name's a duck or whatever they say. Rose, I don't know, whatever the hell. But anyway,
smells like a duck, yeah.
Yeah, it's a duck, man. But yeah, so they're finally calling it quits, and I'm not surprised, man. You know, they're all getting old. They're not going to be. The drummer won't be on the tour. He's his health won't allow him to. But yeah, they're heading out there with special guests, and this was exciting because we saw them last year. We saw the Black Crowes. Black Crowes are going to be open for them, and boy, they were headlining last year.
We saw them 2 years ago, actually.
Was it 2 years?
Ago.
Wow.
And they haven't stopped since. And now they're starting on this 40-day tour.
Oh,
These
wow.
guys they're just gluttons for punishment.
I'll tell you, we saw them, man, and them brothers, they brought it really well that night. They really, that was a great concert, man. Man.
To see them.
Yeah. So Aerosmith out there doing the final tour. We'll see how it goes. Steven Tyler, obviously, you know, he's always at this point controversial, I would say, figure with the accusations that although they've been liquidated, are still now in the minds of everybody, is that he he was hanging with a 14-year-old or something, or what?
Well, they just said a minor. I don't think we ever got the
okay, all right, but yeah, and of course they
said a minor, and I don't think she was digging for gold, man. Well, I don't think it was that kind of minor.
Yeah. Oh wow. Anyway, yeah. So he's had issues, his health, his drug use and whatnot, and all that stuff. But apparently they're gonna go nuts and do it to it. So that should be interesting.
They're saying it's not goodbye, it's peace out. Get ready and walk this way. You're going to get the best show of our lives. So yeah, I'm sure we'll get the media blitz, and they'll really be pushing this tour, and tickets will probably be in the 4-digit range, and all that good stuff.
It'll be ridiculous. Yeah, 40 dates. Yeah. So
we're starting on September 2nd. It's going to be over the winter, September 2nd in Philly, and then they're finishing up in Montreal, January 26th. So coming through Chicago, from the United Center.
Yep. Crazy time.
I hate going to United Center. I've been there for a number of shows. It's just, it sounds horrible. It's a pain to get in there. It's just I don't like going there.
I don't think I've been there since. Well, no, that was the old United Center. That would be Boston. Boston being opened up by Sammy. I don't think I've been there since. But yeah, so that tells you how long. Like late 70s.
Saw Van Halen there. Oh gosh, saw a number of bands there, but not a good place.
But yeah, so they're calling it a day, and I imagine it'd be a killer tour. Boy, just do stuff. Stop with the whiny top 40 crap of the later stuff, and just do like. Yeah, but stuff off the first 5.
I guarantee you, Murph, the people that are buying those tickets, that's
what they want to hear.
That's what
they
want. Yep. They want the Diane Warren written songs. And,
did you crying? Did you get you? Did I shut up? Give me some Mama Kin. Gosh, Seasons of Wither. Come on. Gosh, it won't happen.
Broken anything off the first 3 albums, people would know.
I'll be amazed. Yeah, I said, what this
Other than Dream On and Walk This Way, I suppose. But
yeah, good riddance. Oh well, that early stuff's great. Give me the drug-addled Aerosmith any day. Any day.
Yeah, you're right.
Tell you what, man, they're great. Right. Speaking of Aerosmith,
the Toxic Twins, man, that's what they're called. The Toxic Twins, Joe and Steve.
Absolutely, and of course, Joe. We got Joe Perry. Hey, he was talking about, them two, the Toxic Twins, of course, and apparently now they're really, apparently old age has mellowed them. Finally, and we'll see how it goes on this tour. They've had, like Perry says about the relationship, well, we've had our ups and downs. And like everything, there's a balance. There's a good and the bad. So it was as bad as it could get, and it's also been as good as it could get, which I'm not surprised. And I have to say right now, It's about as good as it can get. I think we paid our dues on the other end, so we're due some good times. Bam. So they need to really make this tour just a celebration of all that
Yeah,
great
no,
freaking
ideally, yeah. I
music.
mean, the
Oh,
50th anniversary, but then you touch a little bit on what's going on with Steven Tyler, but he's also just got out of rehab too. So,
boy.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I don't know whose job is going to have somebody's job going to be just they'll probably have Joey Kramer come along just for that. Keep him sober,
Hey,
Joey.
why not? He can do that, you know.
Yeah, keep Steven sober, man.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Geez. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But and it's funny because he does look like somebody's aunt at this point. Most old rock stars who try to maintain that rock persona,
Yeah, and try to
they end up they end up looking like somebody's aunt. They really do. When you think about it, all these, if you just naturally age, it's like, okay, well, there he's naturally aged, but no, they got to do everything and still have the long hair and all the baubles and all the glitz and whatnot, and they look like
scarves and whatnot. Yeah.
Oh, scars, yeah. But it is what it is, man. Jeez, what do you do? Oh, hey, here's something. Jeez, we talked about this earlier. Back in the day, back a couple of weeks ago, we talked about how Roger Waters was over in England trying to play, and a couple of his concert got canceled because of the fact that they quote he's a raging anti-Semite, and he fought the city of Frankfurt in court, and
Germany, yeah,
and he won. He won. Yeah, he won a legal battle to play a forthcoming concert in Frankfurt after it was initially canceled over claims of anti-Semitism. And, geez, there's too much hate in the world. I don't know. Maybe he thinks he's doing good, but, and think he's, I don't know.
He's a stubborn dude. You got to give him that, man.
He's stubborn as shit. I don't want to party with him.
If you're going to cancel him, he's going to come after you. And here's the first example of that. Frankfurt, and I remember right. I think this is the case where the city council owned 40% of the venue or something like that. So that's why they kept him out. And so now they've had the Frankfurt's administrative court ruled that he's going to get to play there and cited freedom of speech. Well, said they acknowledged aspects of his show were tasteless, but cited freedom of speech. So
remember we talked about and the city has they can appeal the decision if they want, but we talked about how a petition was launched, right? And it was signed by Eric Clapton, Tom Morello, and Nick Mason from Pink Floyd, and all this, and Waters. It says here, Waters' criticism of Israel's treatment of Palestinians is part of his long-term advocacy on behalf of human rights across the globe. Blah, blah, blah. The officials vilifying Waters are engaging in a dangerous campaign that purposely conflates criticism of Israel's illegal and unjust policies with anti-Semitism. I'm sorry, man. I'm not getting it political. I'm just going to say, Palestinian, they launch rockets into Israel. We'll just leave it at that. And then Israel retaliates. And it's such a freaking mess. Why does he get himself involved in this?
Exactly. What good can come from it, man?
Geez,
and we talked about with Steven Van Zandt. He's taking these extreme political stances. That what good can possibly come from it? It's just
all he's doing is bringing up more hate. We got so much hate. We got anti-Semitism here in the States.
He's been taking some very provocative type photos with I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what was anti-Nazi stuff with guillotines and I don't know, but so he's kind of trying to seem like he's purposely trying to ruffle some feathers over there.
Yeah,
just trying to push it, just trying to push the envelope of what.
That's all we need is more hate in this world,
and just daring people to take his way
to react.
Right?
Yeah. Jesus, crazy. Come on, Roger. Jeez, whatever. Roger, get off of my screen. My God, enough hate. There's hate.
We're upset with you, Roger.
The only thing I hate about this cat, Ed Sheeran, is that I couldn't find a good picture of him on the internet. Because there ain't no good. He takes no good pictures. That's about as much as you get right there.
Kind of guy,
no. But apparently, he's familiar with the court system because he's been taken to to court by the guy who wrote the "Let's Get It On" by Marvin Gaye. What a
Yeah.
great song!
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my
Yeah. Classic.
gosh! Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's in court, and quite honestly, it is the same chord progression. If you think about the song by Marvin Gaye, "Let's Get It On," he sings, "Let's get it on." Dun, 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 dun. There's four notes right there. Dun, 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 dun. And that's what the whole damn lawsuit's about, is that progression, that four note progression. Because it sounds pretty much exact, although it's in a different key, but it's the same chord progression. But at the same time, I say, well, I don't think it's enough
There's only
to
so
take it
many
to
notes,
court.
man. You know.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
only
I don't think
so,
it's enough to take it to court. But then hasn't this sort of
yeah,
been
he's had
his
some other
forte?
issues. Yeah, he's had some other issues. He been to court a couple times. Well, this time it's a guy named Ed Townsend wrote "Let's Get It On," and he had a co-writer with the song too, Amy Watch. But yeah, doing exactly what you're talking about. And but he had a couple songs before, and once he was found, he won the case for a song "The Shape of You." But another one, a song called "Photograph," he settled for 20 million. 20 million
Whoa.
for one song, dude.
He can steal one of my songs if he
How much
wants.
money are they making off these songs that
Yeah, what the hey? 20 mil. Jeez, that's crazy. And yeah, and you're yeah, and they call it an ascending four chord sequence. Like I said, them
yeah.
four notes. But geez, that's weak. That's slim.
Yeah, I've been kind of keeping up with the case a little bit. There was one day it was like kind of laughable. They had AI trying to copy the two of them to show the similarities of it, and just it was sounding like a robot singing kind of thing. It was kind of laughable. And then I just saw today where for some reason I had to look more into it. He played a Van Morrison song in court to kind of show him how. I don't know, just to show how easily things can sound like something else. I suppose I don't know, but
Man, it's crazy. Yeah.
but yeah, like I said though, he's been there a couple other times. He's one for one, so 1-1 so far. One win, one loss, and we'll see what happens with this one. No judgment yet. Like I said, he's just back in court today. So
Well, speaking of AI, Doc, I just happened to come across today. I come across a AI version. Well, it's Black Hole Sun, the song. It's a real song, but they replaced the Chris Cornell vocals with who's the cat? Oh, Nirvana cat.
Cobain.
Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain sang the song instead of Chris Cornell, Black Hole Sun. It was all done by AI. And it was so bizarre. And it's just an example of what's coming in the future, man.
Find something better to do with your time, people. Quite honestly, the world doesn't need that.
No.
Nobody's asking for Black Hole Sun sung by
Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain.
What the heck?
Nobody's asking for that. Do something.
And it was just bizarre. The music was spot on. Of course, the music was the music, but the vocal, it's just like, and yeah. Why would you do this anyway? It just, it's stupid, man. Come on, get with it, for Christ's sakes. Oh, jeez, I swear, people are insane. Oh, let's talk.
Speaking of stupid.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, what I got here, let me see here. What do we got, man? No, we're talking about the vinyl sales here, man.
Yeah.
Well, I don't get it. Hold on, let the record load up. There it is. Okay. I don't get this at all. Vinyl sales. A study has come out and said that 50% of people buying vinyl records, LPs, don't even have a turntable. I find that to be bizarre. I can't believe it myself either. Why the hell would people even buy them if they can't even listen to them? Is it some kind of art piece or something, or what?
It's a collector's thing, just to collect them and someday resell them, I suppose. Let them, sit in the original plastic for a couple decades and then resell them for 3 times what you bought. I don't know. I suppose. Well, that, and then they made a mention of they call them completist, where people had a completist mindset. where they'll have their favorite artist, whoever that is, Ozzy, and they got to have everything he's ever put out on
Right.
CD, vinyl, cassette, 8-track, whatever, wax cylinder, whatever else he put out. Got
I
to have them all.
guess.
So,
Man, oh man.
I don't know. To me, it kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, I collect to listen to them. I don't have anything unopened in my collection or anything, I haven't listened to, or I don't see the point. I know people do that, they collect it just to collect it, but
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm in a situation right now where I really can't, delve back into my collection, but I will be able to in a couple of months. I'll be able to get back into it. Yeah, I got a nice new turntable and whatnot, but man, I haven't played most of my albums since the '70s. They've been sitting around since the '70s
yeah,
because, of course, I put everything on a cassette so we could go drive around with that, and then
right.
along comes a CD, and of course, and then along comes the digital age, the streaming age and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was totally yeah, I'm totally into the record thing, but if as you know, that thing about records, of course, is the pops and the cracks and stuff that come, when you're playing it, and eventually, even when you use a proper cleaner, it just doesn't get it. And I found that the latest thing is to put wood glue, good old
Right.
Elmer's
Yeah, I've
wood
done
glue,
that,
a thin layer across the whole face of the album, and you let it dry, and in the morning you peel that sucker off, and you pull off all the imperfections that are laying in those grooves, and you get the best possible read you can from your album. Because the fidelity, of course, the fidelity is great, and it's and today they're putting out records, but I'm sure they're using digital equipment to record everything,
right.
and then they're
Digital
just
processing,
transforming it on.
right.
So
Yeah.
back in the old days, though, you had all the analog stuff.
Yeah,
That's where
everything was
that's
done
where the
analog,
coolness came from.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But by golly, records making a comeback, cassettes making a comeback. It could very possibly be the end of the world, Doc. So I'll tell you what, my man. Yeah, we'll see what's going on with that. All right, and moving on. This is very cool. We talked about this a couple, 3 shows ago. How Black Sabbath they're going to be they're putting out a Black Sabbath ballet. Yeah, that's right. You heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. Black Sabbath ballet, and it's very cool. And Tony Iommi, he checked it out, and he commented on it. He's in the news commenting on it, and one of his first quotes was, "I never thought we would have people dancing to War Pigs and Iron Man," which is obviously but boy, so cool for him, so cool for him. He invented a genre of music, and now it's actually going, the full circle. It's going into ballet for
Yeah,
crying
you talk
out loud.
about crossing genres. Yeah, this is a big leap into another genre, man.
Yeah, it is.
So, yes, his hometown, though, Birmingham, the band's hometown, Birmingham, the Birmingham Royal Ballet. And we talked about it a while back, and it was like, how that must have been just even coming up with the idea and then getting some backing behind it, But here it is. They're in the rehearsals now, and Tony Iommi stopped by to check out the rehearsals and kind of blown away by the whole thing. So I'm sure it's quite a spectacle. It's got to be. To see your music that you created done that way has got to be mind blowing.
With orchestra and stuff, that's so bizarre. But he says
pirouettes and whatnot, and
pirouettes. That's a good move for Ozzy if he can get with that. And Tony says, "I've never been to a ballet in my life." He admitted, but to come in and working with these guys and sing it, it's just fantastic, and the work they put in is just amazing. So Black Sabbath, the ballet, was going to run from September 23rd to the 30th, 1 week at the Hippodrome in Birmingham. Birmingham, not Birmingham, it's Birmingham.
Birmingham.
They're going to have 8 Sabbath songs in this thing. It's going to be, of course, Paranoid from 70, Iron Man from 70, War Pigs from 70, all from that classic Paranoid album. Then Black Sabbath. That I'd love to see. from the Black Sabbath album. Let's face it, that blew my mind apart. That song. I mean, first song, first album, and that first chord just blew the music world apart, man. Wow. Geez, amazing. So they got Black Sabbath there. They got Solitude from Master Reality, Orchid from Master Reality. Orchid, I'm sure those two songs, I believe, are a little bit more mellow. They're the mellower side of Black Sabbath, actually. And Laguna Sunrise, same thing, from Volume 4, a little bit more mellow. And then Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath from the album of the same name. So it's just wild. So Tony goes on to say, I'm looking at our music differently now with this, because
how can you not? Yeah.
It's being interpreted in a different way. It's still got the basic things, but then it did have in a different orchestral things coming in. And then I never thought for a minute we would have people dancing to Black Sabbath and War Pigs and Iron Man. So yeah, this is going to be some bizarre thing. And I would only hope, it's going to play for a week, but come on, Birmingham, pack the house so that they get the urge to move it. Let's take it across the ocean.
Take it on the road.
Get it over here. I want to see it. Come on, Birmingham.
Oh, there's an audience for that for sure, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, are you kidding? That'd be great. Bunch of heavy. There'd be metalheads in there checking.
Like I said,
it
we
out.
talked about before. It's a perfect date night. You got your metalhead guy. You got your ballet, girl.
You got the young lady. Yeah.
And you go see Black Sabbath ballet, man. It's perfect.
South Park, if I may mention, South Park did a version about going to see plays and stuff and ballets, and how much the ladies appreciate the being taken to ballets and plays and whatnot. So yeah, that's a good thing. They can't just do this for a week. Come on, are you kidding me? They're not just gonna do this play, this presentation for a week, for 1 week. No. Come on, world. The world needs us not right now. So it needs Black Sabbath, the ballet. Oh man. Oh boy. Here's a bummer. Well, I don't care one way or another, but this is odd. A Bamboozle, which is a festival that obviously has been taking place for a while. For years. Well, they canceled like a week before it was supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen this week. As a matter, there's the thing right there, May 5th through 7th, over there in New Jersey, and they canceled it. And it's not the usual logistics or anything like that. And by the way, Limp Bizkit, Papa Roach, Mayday Parade, some of the bands scheduled to play there. So this wasn't a cheap little festival, and I'll be darned, they didn't get their permitting in time. It's all about the permits on this one. That's amazing. How can you be so foolish?
Yeah, and looking into it, they started this back in 2003.
Wow.
And then they stopped in 2012. So they haven't had it. This is over a decade now, and they're starting it back up. And they didn't get their forms in time, and the people there in it's in Atlantic City, and the folks there were the administrative folks were getting on them. They were trying to remind them, hey, get your they were on them, and they just didn't do it. They just didn't get their paperwork in. So,
wow.
Yeah, somebody's losing their job. I mean, that's a week before it's supposed to happen to call it off. That's it's
gonna be some lawsuits flying, my man.
Oh man,
I would think.
Yeah.
The hell, if you're gonna be responsible to put on a festival, not just a concert, but a festival, for Christ's sakes. What the hell? You don't have your permits in order. That means that you really don't want to have the festival, and something ain't right. So
that seems like step one,
Yeah. So something ain't right there. I don't give a heck.
Especially, like I said, they had it for years, but then they stopped for a while, and they're restarting it again. It wouldn't be as automatic as it was before. Maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Wow. Well, yeah. Well, they dropped the ball on that one. So we won't be saying Limp Bizkit and Fred Durst. So
how many times do we hear about these festivals where they have to change venue? Like, seemingly at the last minute or last couple of weeks or whatever.
Oh God!
You know,
Oh,
it's
well,
got
all
to
through our
become the same
lifetime.
stuff. It
Oh,
seems like that would be the first step. Get the permits, you know, down.
make
Get all that
sure,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
and
nothing else
then
happens until you got your
and then make
venue
everything
down
else set
pat.
up. Exactly.
These dummies, what the? Yeah, so they must not have wanted to have it or something. There's something not right, and something ain't right, for crying out loud. Too many creepers. Oh, here. Speaking of not right, this is creepy as heck. Where is it here?
Bad festivals.
A fire festival. This fire festival guy, what the hell's his name? Billy McFarland. Yeah, the fire festival. We talked about that a long time ago. Shows many times ago. We talked about failed festivals, and he had the fire festival, which was supposed to be a high class festival where all these people pay a ton of money, come down to like the Bahama Islands or somewhere down in that area, and have an incredible experience. And it turned out, the incredible experience turned out to be a big bust, and this guy went to prison and everything, and now he's out of prison, and now he wants to put on a fire festival too. And oh man, wow. And he's trying to apologize with grilled cheese sandwiches. I can't believe this article, but here it is. And I believe it's the Rolling Stone who put it. Yeah, it's the Rolling Stone article.
Rolling Stone
yeah. He's trying to give out grilled cheese sandwiches on 7th on the Lower East Side. But this guy's really don't. I hope we never hear Fire Festival or Billy McFarland again.
Yeah, we talked about a couple of weeks ago where that's his MO. He makes these. He oversteps, reaches on all these big promises and all these big events, and then doesn't come through and owes all this money, and then tries to make the next one even bigger to pay for the last one. And it's just snowballed to the point where you end up with something like the Fire Festival.
He's a scam.
And he hasn't learned his lesson because now here he is doing it again. Wow. He owes $26 million. He was ordered to pay back $26 million in restitution. $26 million.
Well, you got to sell a lot of cheese sandwiches.
That's a lot of cheese sandwiches. So he says, obviously, he's not going to pay it all back with all, just that. But he said it's the kind of thing we just sit around on a Sunday, and why not? And not only did he not even selling cheese sandwiches, but he popped it up. It was at a burger joint, on the Lower East Side. And he just kind of pop-up shop kind of thing for grilled sandwiches. But the turned away customers coming in for a burger because they couldn't get a burger. So this guy is like walking toxicity, man. This guy is just everything he touches turns to shit. Yeah.
Oh man, there ain't gonna be no fire festival. Nobody's gonna believe anything is really. Well, go away, pal. You end up in prison for a hell of a lot longer next time, dumbass.
Now he's trying to do some other things too, not just the fire festival too, but he's trying to plan some treasure hunts and things of that nature in the Bahamas. And the Bahamian officials have made it clear that he should never return. He should never return. So they don't want anything to do with the guy. So, this guy's just, like I said, everything he touches turns to shit, man.
Good. Good for him, jerk off. All right, moving on, man. And we always talk about people, artists starting to sell their catalogs and, padding their bottom line, if you will. And this is an interesting one. Judas Priest, they've sold their first two records, the rights to their first two records that were released by Gull Records in 74 and 78. And they sold the right. I don't get it, man. They sold the rights to here it is, Rock-a-Rolla right there. There's Rock-a-Rolla. And they sold Sad Wings of Destiny.
Sad Wings, I got that one too.
Sad Wings of Destiny, and I don't get the rock and roll thing. The difference between Rock-a-Rolla, Sad Wings is amazing. Sad Wings is a stunning piece of music.
Like a different band.
Oh, geez, Victim of Changes, The Ripper, and whatnot. I myself now, had I had my druthers, I'd have sold the rights to Sad Wings of Destiny. Sin After Sin. Now those two are monster. Or maybe throw Stained Class in there in the same spot. The first four records were just monster. Well, Rock-a-Rolla, but Sad Wings, Sin After Sin, and Stained Class were three great albums, but they only sold the rights for some reason for just the first
Well,
two
just the
albums
ones that they did with Gold
with
Records.
Gold Records.
For the third album, they got signed by CBS. So
Jeez,
these are the ones that Gull had the
there's all
rights to.
wow. What a yeah. What a really because like I say, Rock and Roll not too strong. Sad Wings, amazingly strong. And different drummers on both ones. They went through a lot of drummers, man. They, in the early days they had Les Binks on their live one, and just had a whole bunch of different drummers. But yeah, they only got to sell them two. So I'm sure eventually
from Gull, like I said, from Gull Records. And they're speculating that they're going to re-release Rock and Roll is coming up on its 50th anniversary, but they sold it to a place called Reach Music, which they already owned Glenn Tipton's part of the publishing. That's kind of how they got involved in the picture.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Glenn probably needs the money to take care of himself. So
then they bought the rest of them out too. So
I'll be darned. Well, I mean, eventually the rest of eventually I'm sure they'll sell the rest of it, because when you start getting into the British Steel and the stuff, Leaving After Midnight and all their big hits, Breaking the Law and whatnot, they'll probably get a pretty penny out of those. But they probably don't own the publishing, though. See, we always talk about you need to own your publishing. I don't know.
Well, maybe not, though. Yeah, you're right.
Geez, wow. Yeah, always own your publishing. Always own your publishing for sure. But we'll see how that goes. Speaking of Judas Priest, here we go. This cat right here. Where is he? There he is, KK. They look so scary. I'm scared. Tim Ripper Owens there in the center. There you go. Yeah, looking bad. They're looking mean, and I'm scared. So KK's he played his KK's Priest is what he calls his band. Yeah, played his first live show. He's going to play his first live show.
And that surprised me because they'd already put out an album. I thought that they had toured on that. I just assumed that they were out there playing. And I knew that the band existed, and to find out this is their first live gig, that surprised me.
Not only is it the first live gig, but he's playing it at his own club, basically his own venue, his own place. So, geez, KK, what the hell? He blew it. He should, he should be on. He should be opening for some major act right now that's on tour around the world. He blew it. What's he doing? Oh yeah, I'm opening up at my own club. Whoop-de-frickin' do. He should be on tour with oh jeez. He blew it. He should be on tour with a major tour right now, with a major group. They're all out there touring now. They all hit it. Boom. It's time to rock and roll. And what's he doing? Playing in his freaking venue. Whoop-de-frickin' do.
In Wolverhampton, UK,
Gosh.
KK Downing Steel Mill in Wolverhampton. Yeah, I'm sure it's a hopping place, man. Yeah.
Let me use some of my accent here.
They got Tim Ripper Owens on vocals there, so whatever.
Yeah, but okay, let's go to the KK. KK said, "It's been far too long, but I am stoked to say that KK's Priest will once again have the honor playing our first ever gig at the Steel Mill on July 6th."
Say that again. Hold on, back up. Say it again.
It says,
"Well, once again have the honor of
Priest
our first."
will once again have the honor of playing our first ever gig.
How do you once again
have the honor of playing your first? Yeah, at the Steel Mill on July 6th. Geez, that's like half a year away. Yeah, the perfect venue with the perfect audience. Metal has come home once more, back to where it all started from. Yes, the Black Country, where the embryo was conceived all of those years ago. I am incredibly fortunate to have been a part of it all. I will look forward to seeing you all again. Rest assured that it will be blood and thunder, with Hellfire Thunderbolt and much more. We promise to make history again on this special occasion. See you then. Good riddance. You're playing your own freaking club.
Boy, a hell of a hype, man.
One gig and he ain't even playing it till July 6th or whatever. What the hell? Boy, he blew it. He should be on tour with a major act. If he was really serious, he'd be touring right now. He's too proud. Oh, I'm not backing up anyone. No, I can't. I'm KK Downing. Yeah, I quit.
Why do they insist on keeping Ripper Owens in the mix too, man? That guy's just,
I don't
just let him
know.
go do, whatever he can do. I don't know.
I don't get it, man. But yeah, KKGs. That really, what a train wreck that's gotta be. To be in that band, geez, what a train. So we're not playing till July 6th, huh, KK? That's right. That's right. If you don't like it, you can walk, because I'm KK. I played with Priest. Oh, jeez. How horrible, geez.
I can replace you in a minute.
Yeah, and a million guitarists who will play backup to me for very little money, so shut up. Yeah. So moving on anyway with KK, gosh. What a
So yeah, they're going to be doing the first album, and then they have new material from an unreleased second album. So there you go.
Oh, I'm sure it'll sound great. Jeez.
Oh, I'm sure.
All right, here we go. Jeez, this is something we've been watching. Whitesnake. They've been trying to do their farewell tour, but it ain't going well. David Coverdale, lead singer David Coverdale. His health ain't been has not been helping the situation, because he's dying to get back out on tour and finish. Finish the final tour, but man, he's got an upper respiratory infection, and it just won't go away. It just it won't stop. So man, oh man, what do you do, man? What are you gonna do? Shit.
Yeah, they had the tour last year that they had to call off. Eventually, they were touring with the Scorpions, and they had the Europe and North American tour, and they just started in Europe and did a few gigs, and just that was it. Red Beach got real sick, and Tommy Aldridge got real sick, so they had something going on, and it sounds like COVID, but they didn't say that it was, but so yeah, they just kind of itching to get out there. David Coverdale was on Eddie Trunk this week. And of course, Eddie Trunk's always going to ask, pretty much everybody he talks to, he asks when they're going to get back out there.
Absolutely.
And, This is something he says he's hoping to do. So he'd like to put a button on the Whitesnake touring career and finish it up properly. So yeah, we saw him. Remember, we saw him opening for Priest.
Sure.
There was a lot of just putting the microphone out to the audience and letting them sing the hard parts. Yeah.
Well, see,
roll with both those bands actually.
And of course, my prediction is that eventually singers will just come out and just hold the mic out, and let the whole crowd sing for them, and just strut, strut in their walkers across the stage. I don't know. That's horrible. Anyway,
helping them even,
yeah. But in talking about his sickness, he said. He literally flew home July 4th. It took all that time to actually, and with an assortment of the worst antibiotics I think I've ever had to take, coupled with prednisone, which I don't recommend to anyone. That's big fat face stuff, steroids. So yeah, it was very challenging in every way, shape, and form for a long time, and he's still struggling with it. So, God, and yeah, you're right though. He's really, he's getting on the years, and he really can't hit most of the notes anymore, and he just wants to finish this one last thing. I don't know if he's going to be able to, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with him. Jeez.
So you got a visitor back there.
Yes, I do. Yeah. Unexpected arrival, but nonetheless, we'll move on. This is interesting. I found this.
I found this extremely.
You brought it. You brought it to my attention. That's cool. I love Steve Earle, man. He's great.
Yeah, I got 3 of his CDs back there, man. Yeah, that's the kind of country I'll listen to, man. Some Steve
Earle,
man. So
yeah, you got that right.
I think people they know probably a few of his songs, but one of his main ones is Copperhead Road. That was
Copperhead Road.
One of those big roads.
That's right.
Big songs, and it has been adopted by the state of Tennessee as the Tennessee state song. Man, it's not the only one. They have like 10 other ones. This is one of 11, but they have songs like Rocky Top and the Tennessee Waltz and Smoky Mountain Rain, and so probably the most popular ones that people have heard of.
Sure.
But now they're adding Copperhead Road, which is about growing weed. It's not even legal in Tennessee. It's not even a legal state.
Geez. See, they don't understand. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I can't even imagine how that even came up to a vote, or how they.
They didn't really listen to the lyrics, obviously. They've heard the song a million times.
Moonshining.
Right.
If people don't know the song, it starts off where his granddad started off, he was moonshining down at the end of Copperhead Road, and the revenuers would come and they would never come back, that kind of thing.
Right.
And then he went off to Vietnam and came back, and he learned a few things from the Vietnamese as far as that kind of thing. And now he started growing weed there at the end of Copperhead Road, and it was kind of the same thing with the moonshiners, but now he's just growing weed. So and now that's the state song, man. That's the state song in Tennessee.
Man.
So
that's great. Jeez,
it is great, man. Like I said, it's not even legal there, but
That reminds me of the situation where politicians were using the song "Born in the USA" by Springsteen, not understanding what it really meant. So it seems like one of those situations.
Reagan was trying to
Reagan. Yeah. Oh man. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
You don't even really that often you get like popular songs for state songs. They're always like some old, my old Virginia home or something like that I've never heard of. But you get a few of them that I've heard of. Really, just John Denver's got two of them: Rocky Mountain High for Colorado and Take Me Home, Country Roads for West Virginia. But and then for some reason Ohio is "Hang On Sloopy" by the McCoys. I don't get that one. But
what the?
But yeah, just very few of them. But Copperhead Roads for Tennessee for some reason. So
very cool. Oh man, I'll tell you what, Doc. I gotta go grab some grub, man. So frickin' another great show. Rock stars and whatnot. Totally giving us the material, which I really appreciate. Can't imagine. You can only guess what's going to happen in the next week. So very exciting to see what goes on. But thanks for joining me as always on this journey, and take it home, brother.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for another show. Thanks for everybody watching. Really, really greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe. It's super easy to do, and we'd appreciate the hell out of it. So till next time, we'll get ready for you next week. And until then, have a great rock and roll fun week, everybody.